Hey guys, welcome. Coach Paolo from CrossFit ACA. Today we're going to work on lower body mobility, something that you could implement maybe after class, for instance, or maybe book a spot in the open box and you can do a little bit of practice with your favorite movement, or maybe something that you would like to improve or to get the first rep in, as for instance bar muscle ups, double unders and so on, for about 20 minutes I would say. And then use the remaining time, so 20 to 25 minutes following this video, you can do a little bit of mobility. So we can work on things that usually we don't have the time to do so, and we can open up a little bit our hips today, ankles, and also massage our thighs. That's going to be nice. The only thing you're going to need, guys, is a mat, ideally, one plate, maybe 5 kilos for the guys, 10 for the ladies, and then a bar, 15 or 20 kilos. I leave it up to you. I'm going to guide you through with the first exercise that we're going to do. So we're going to take a plate and we're going into a squat position. And from here, you can lean your arms on the knees and you're going a little bit first to one side for about 5 seconds, then 5 seconds to the other side, and you keep moving and shifting right to left. So we can open up the hips and at the same time create a little bit more space in our ankles. You can do it on your own pace. If you want to stay a little bit longer, go ahead. This we have in general to squat deeper and also have a bit overhead mobility once you do, for instance, overhead squats, because your ankles play a big role into the movement. So take your time, side to side. Try to spend here a couple of minutes, and maybe after 1 minute, you can also put the plates down, shake it off a little bit, and then you retake the plates, and you can go for the next set. If you need a little bit more rest in between, totally fine. Then about 5 seconds per side. Try to still keep your upper back relatively straight, so that the hips are also doing some work. If a couple of minutes is too much, feel free to do a little bit less. If you feel very confident and comfortable with the movement, then maybe do a little bit more. Try to let the hips sink down in the position. Based on your mobility, they might go all the way down. Some of you might stay a little bit high. Once you're done with a couple of minutes, we're going to place the plates down. And what I want you to do is to take a step forward into a lunge position. You're going to have your foot on the plate, and you try to keep your heel down to lean as forward as you can. Now, since we're in this position, you can also press the opposite knee a little bit back, and at the same time, you can create some room for your hips. So we're working on hips and ankle mobility to open them up a little bit, and also in here, maybe take a few seconds forward, take a step back, few seconds forward again, or you can feel free to stay in the same position the whole time. And we try to spend about a couple of minutes in each side. Every time try to press a little bit more, making sure that the heel doesn't leave the floor. If here and there you need a break, take a step back and then go again into the position. Feel free to move your opposite knee as you like to create less or more stretch. halfway through. If you need a small break, go ahead, and then you keep going. Trying to lean as much as you can in front, yeah, so towards your toes. About 30 more seconds. Slowly get out of the pose and taking your own time. We're going to do the same on the other side. So one foot on the plate, you can create a little bit of more stretch. And then you're going to lean as forward as you can. You should feel a nice compression to the front side of your ankle and ideally a little bit on the opposite hip. If you feel some hip impeachment inside your hip, it's also good to stretch and work on it. Same in here. If you need a small break and go back, feel free to do so. Halfway through. So now try to press even more every time you go forward. Thirty seconds to go. Slowly get out of the pose. You can leave the plate on the side, don't need it anymore. Then the next thing we're going to do is to stretch our thighs as much as we can, so our quads. Close to the wall, you're going to take a step in front, and you want to bring your toes on the wall. From here, you get some help with the leg in front, and you're going to try to get as close as you can with your upper back towards the wall. Keep in mind that the closer the knee is to the wall, the more stretch you're going to feel. So if you need to adjust that, go ahead. Maybe start by leaning a little bit more forward, so you have less stretch, and then step by step, if you feel comfortable, stay a little bit higher. I'm going to spend a few minutes in here. Try in every breath you take to relax even more towards the wall with your upper back. get closer to the wall, also with the foot in front. So your upper back can get a little bit closer, and you're gonna feel more stretch on the front side of your leg. Halfway through, if you feel that the stretch is getting less, maybe try to bring the knee a little bit closer towards the wall. And then you can go back to the same position. About 30 seconds left to go. Make sure that now you feel the most stretch coming from the front. Feel free to go a little bit more into the pose. Slowly switch sides, taking your own time, maybe small and slow steps on the way down. If you felt a lot of stretch, then once you're ready, we're going to do the same on the other side. So toes on the wall, get the knee quite close, then from here, I'm gonna come up. One side might be very different from the other side. That depends on your hips balance. Still, it's always nice to stretch both of them as much as we can. Keep in mind that you shouldn't feel any pain, but you should feel uncomfortable with the stretch. In here, as in all positions, guys, if you want to stay a little bit longer, always feel free to do so. The time I'm giving you is the minimum we should stay in the pose. Anything longer than that, you're only getting benefits from it. Halfway through, if you want to feel a little bit more stretch, maybe bring the knee a little bit closer towards the wall, and then try to bring your upper back also closer. More seconds. Slowly come out of the pose. Taking your own time, stretch it out a little bit if you need it. Then once you're ready, we're going into the last part. For the last part, we're going to need a barbell. So ideally 15 or 20 kilos, depending how stiff you feel. What we're going to need is to place it on our quads. What we want to work on, guys, it's pretty much on this part, so make sure that you don't get too close to the knee. Yeah, so we want to work on the middle thighs in here, and you start to roll it out. Try to have the bar in the same line, so horizontal. And then from here, slow and control, you're gonna look for places that are a little bit stiff. And if you find something that it kind of hurts, then that's where you should probably stay a little bit longer. It means that your muscles is contract, and then we need to step by step release it by pressing it with the barbell. So we get more flexible, which in the long term can also cause less injuries. So that's why we're doing it. Then feel always free to move your foot to one side, so you can also stretch a little bit more the outside of the leg, or also opposite way around. So with the foot pointing towards maybe the left in this case, and then you try to find, there we go, right here, something that is stiff. We're gonna spend here a couple of minutes in total, so we're almost halfway through. Then of course feel free to stay longer, as I mentioned before. Slow and control. Take your time. Feel free to change the spots here and there. It's pretty much going to massage therapists, but in the open box with a bar. All inclusive in the membership. Thirty seconds more. Whenever you're ready, so maybe you can stay a minute longer if you like to, or even 2 minutes longer, guys. The more you stay, the better if you have the time. And then we're going towards the opposite side. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to look for spots that are stiff. And I'm just going to stay in that little spot, rolling for at least a few seconds. Then if it gets too painful, you can move to another spot, do the same thing, and so on. Feel free to move your foot right to left to find different spots. We have the last minute in here. Thirty seconds to go. And relax. that's it guys. For today, you're done. Stay tuned with the videos, so we're gonna post some more, and always feel free to pick up some videos, so ask if you need any extra ideas or any extra help to mobilize a little bit more to improve your overhead mobility, squat mobility, pistol mobility, anything you need guys, we're gonna be here for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you with the next video.